podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast.
Peep this, your grave, you may be near it. Life's short, yeah, that part, so take it serious. Think twice, that afterlife should have you curious. Each week, that week's speech should have you furious. The same old same, all hail King such and such. You say hell, I say hell, get off is much to be desired. Khutbah should be fire, let's rouse the believers. Situations dire.
Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put fitna and dhul on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast.
You claim Salafiyah, we follow the Salaf in understanding, but without the branding. Allah named us Muslim, with that we stay content. No division is titles, egos a false idol. A mustard seed of kibba can land you in the fire. Plus that his beer is fueled by desires. Question, aren't y'all tired of divide and slaughter? May Allah grant us guidance. Shout out to the martyrs.
Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put fitna and dhul on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast.
Peep this, your grave, you may be near it. Life's short, yeah, that part, so take it serious. Think twice, that afterlife should have you curious. Each week, that week's speech should have you furious. The same old same, all hail King such and such. You say hell, I say hell, get off is much to be desired. Khutbah should be fire, let's rouse the believers. Situations dire.
Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put fitna and dhul on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast.
You claim Salafiyah, we follow the Salaf in understanding, but without the branding. Allah named us Muslim, with that we stay content. No division is titles, egos a false idol. A mustard seed of kibba can land you in the fire. Plus that his beer is fueled by desires. Question, aren't y'all tired of divide and slaughter? May Allah grant us guidance. Shout out to the martyrs.
Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put fitna and dhul on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast. We put kufr and shirk on blast. Hey. Amoo Yum Yum the podcast.
Peep this, your grave, you may be near it. Life's short, yeah, that part, so take it serious. Think twice, that afterlife should have...
Silwal in the museum.
Assalamu alaikum, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome
to Amoo Yum Yum, the podcast where we seek to cure the kufr infected by injecting the Islamic perspective. I am your host, Amoo Yum Yum. And with us, as always, almost all the time, most of the time, Amoo Yusuf.
All the time.
The Amoo you love to hate. And hate is, excuse me. Ooh, man.
See, it didn't come out right.
Banana chips. Okay. Hate is a strong word, but he's the Amoo you love to hate.
Yes. Makes me feel proud. Now, before we go on hating, don't forget to click share this video with your friends and family and the people that suck. Okay? Let's go ahead and put
To disclaim.
disclaimer first. Always have to put a disclaimer because you know how it goes. The opinion of Amoo Yum Yum, the podcast, is based on Islam. Yes. Our intentions are to be correct. However, we may not always be right. Okay? Others may different concept, but these
are ours.
all right, man.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. How are you today?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
How about you?
I am well. I was not very productive today, but
Really?
I spent the whole day with the babies, alhamdulillah.
That's subhanAllah, something here. I didn't do anything today. I was supposed to do something.
Random.
What's a random?
Random is what didn't happen.
Yeah.
No.
The
Nah.
paintball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen. We were planning to go on a paintball
Expedition.
but we got a guest coming from. Well, he used to live here in San Antonio, but he came back to pick up some of his stuff and go back to
He's moving to Somaliland.
Somaliland in the state.
Somaliland,
Minnesota. Yeah,
Minnesota.
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 And he miscalculated. He thought he was going to finish it like, before noon. Yeah, they actually finished it like by Maghrib time.
Yeah.
that's a worse miscalculation, buddy. Akhi, now they're having fun at the incredible pizza.
Yeah, it's not so incredible. It's like pizza.
Yeah, it's okay pizza.
They should change the name to Pizza.
Yeah, with a lot of like arcade games. So they're probably chilling now.
You know about that pizza place though. They cater to Muslims. Like if you have a Muslim gathering or you gather up for the Eid, they'll have a special section.
Yeah, I think the owner is I think he's a Christian, like a good. That's what I heard. That's a good practice in Christian.
I don't care what.
All right. So every Eid, alhamdulillah, here in San Antonio, Texas, every year during the Eid, we actually rent, or basically they have a deal with us where we can go and have a good quality time.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So, we get together, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
get together
I
there.
don't like getting together with y'all. Anyway, so,
get together with all of the people.
all the people. Yeah, the people are important.
The people, the Desi people, the brown people, Khaliji people, Arab people, black people, all people. Yellow
Black
people, all kinds of people.
There's no yellow people. Anyway,
we get together and have fun.
Okay.
Because we're like so-called one ummah, right?
Moving on.
Yeah. The unity that's never going to be unified as long as the border.
Yeah.
Mark my word.
Well, that's what we're dealing with right now.
Exactly. So gotta go with the thing tonight. Yes.
What's poppin'?
What's popping is the topic.
Yeah. Why did you come with this topic, man?
I wrote it two ways.
Yeah.
I wrote it Allah's will versus Allah's order, and I wrote it Allah's order versus Allah's will.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's verses. Y'all like watching Versus, right? The TV show. I never seen none of it. I don't
It's called
like
Versus?
Yeah, it's called Versus. Is it Versus? Yeah, Versus. When like rappers like put their catalog in somebody else's catalog and singers put their catalog.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Some video and intelligence.
I saw it. Oh, man, it's trash. Say anyway, is it Versus or Battle? Yeah, Versus. I think it's Versus. Anyway, so they made a bunch of songs. So somebody will play a song. It's almost like playing Uno or playing cards.
Okay.
You put a card, you put a card. They put a card, like that. That's what I heard from it. I don't watch it because I'm not into music like that.
Okay.
I'm saying like I really don't care about I mean they all could die. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care about them like that. I really don't. I mean you can be an entertainer. I go to the zoo. I see the monkey. Monkey's entertaining. But if the monkey died, I don't.
Yeah,
I didn't lose one minute of sleep over Harambe.
Harambe, what is that?
Yeah, the monkey the ape that was dragging the boy fell over because he has negligent parents, probably single mom. Anyway, so
I gotta feel bad for that kid, man. I wanted to jump as a father, go save that kid, man.
No, you couldn't save him.
I know,
Yeah,
but I'm wishing.
No, there'd been 2 dead people.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wishing, like, emotionally, like,
it'd have been 2 dead people.
yeah, I'd rather be dead instead of the kid.
I wonder why they didn't have tranquilizer. Like, why they had to kill it?
But I think the kid was okay, right? He didn't.
No, the kid was fine. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, they should have tranquilizer for the ape instead of, It seems like they would have tranquilizer ready and live ammo, not live ammo and then can't find a tranquilizer. I mean, anyway, past that.
Yeah.
This topic, the roots of this topic is in how a lot of conversations with Muslims about the qadr, they don't know the difference between the qada and qadr. Qadr is translated so many ways and understood in so many ways. But this is away from that, more simplified, okay? Because with a lot of Muslims that don't obey Allah, they think they are. Now, I got to give them credit. They think they are obeying Allah. A lot of Muslims that aren't obeying Allah tend to blame Allah's will on their condition. Example. They'll sit at home watching Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Or only if they're still on.
Yeah.
Watching Maury, watching Judge whoever now. I think everybody's a judge now. So they watch these shows and the bills are steady piling up,
They basically do nothing.
Yeah, so Allah gives the example of the bird. He said a bird leaves its nest in the morning and comes back with its belly full. Allah is letting us know that if you want sustenance, you have to seek it, right? So Allah's order is to seek sustenance, right? That's Allah's order. Muhammad even frowned upon begging, He says it's better to get an axe and go in the forest with a rope and chop the wood and tie it up and sell it as firebrand than to beg. Also, begging is not considered a dignified,
it's not an honorable thing.
Way of earning income, begging,
Yeah.
Because if you have the Islamic system, begging really you're scamming because the Islamic system will take care of you, but nevertheless, your bare necessities. But nevertheless, Muslims that don't actually obey Allah Ta'ala's order will blame their condition on Allah Ta'ala's will. So you don't have a job, the bills are piling up, you stay at home waiting for the phone to ring. Why would the phone ring?
And they say Allah's will, I'm in this condition, basically. That's what they say?
Well, they're saying Allah put them in that situation. So it's not their effort. It's Allah doing that to them. The same way when certain nations of Muslims won't help other Muslim nations that are in turmoil or being attacked. They say, well, that's Allah's punishment upon them. So therefore, they don't obey Allah's order to fight as one solid female structure. They don't obey Allah Ta'ala's order to behave as Jasad and Wahida, like one body. If one part of the body hurts, like Syria, Yemen, wherever, Kashmir, anywhere, the whole body feels it. They don't behave like that. They don't live like that. Yeah. So they deny Allah's order, then they blame the condition that we're in on Allah's will.
They don't behave like that because the head of the body is cut.
Yes,
which is the Sultan of the Ummah don't exist.
Severed.
So that's severed. So that's what nobody feels. And it's very funny because you say this when all these so-called nations with their sellout scholars for dollars, they make this. I used to hear that when I was very, very young, like in my teenage years, when the war was going on between Russia and Afghanistan, how in the TV on the Masajid, how the ulama, all of them, you're gonna suffer, right? Water falling from your mouth. Somebody throw a Hassan.
I'm dying.
Put the thing back, man. Put on mute. Let me put it on mute, man. Man, that was like I don't know, man.
This is banana chips.
That was like a freaking cyclone. But the point is,
this is spicy banana chips.
Yeah, so this going back, this same, back then they used to say like, go and fight for sabilillah to help your brothers and sisters and whatnot, right? Which is good, alhamdulillah. When that war was finished, then in 95, and subhanallah, I don't know if some of your audience remember the Serbia and Bosnia situation where like 5 million Muslims were butchered. So around the same time, the same brothers that went in Afghanistan, they wanted to go back again to help the the innocent, weak Muslims, mustadafin, vulnerable Muslims. What did the ulama say? Oh, you don't go because the iman is weak and it's a punishment from Allah, which was actually political.
Yeah,
Because one of the politics says do something, because during the time of Afghanistan, the Saudi and the Pakistani intelligence and of course the Reagan administration, the U.S. were involved in fighting Russia using the Mujahideen, right? So because of that political reason, the Saudi had no interest in Boston and Afghanistan. I mean Boston, the Serb, and unfortunately they used that argument.
Well,
right?
remember Clinton denied. They denied even the Muslim countries giving the Bosnian Muslims weapons.
Yeah.
See, the Bosnian Muslims had no weapons. The
Yeah.
former Yugoslavian army went into the hands of the Eastern Orthodox Christian Serbs. I mean, the Roman Catholic Serbs
Yeah.
and the Eastern Orthodox Christian Croats.
Yeah.
And so the Muslims were left with little weapons, if any weapons. So they said, we don't want anybody to fight with us. We don't want anybody to give us anything. We'll buy the weapons.
Yeah.
Clinton said no. It sounds like Clinton was a Muslim. Clinton said no because if we give you weapons, more people will die.
Yeah.
That's Muslim logic.
It's very sad
Today,
because
Muslim logic.
and Muslims tend to forget history just like the kuffar. It's very that war was really wallahi. I mean, if you look at the stuff what they did, rape and killing and pledging, two lessons you can learn from that. The so-called your kuffar friends, that live with you, they can turn on you anytime. It happens. I mean, they always preach that. They preach that against us. They said that we're always going to turn on them, which we actually don't do that. We have to think politically and certain things, and it happened. You can look at our history too. But they do that because their neighbors basically somehow turn on their Muslim brothers, and it's sad. Secondly, the same country that says Allah is punishing them because they're not practicing. Guess what? The same nation probably going to get punished very soon because a lot of entertainment and haram and open facade is happening.
Well, see, Allah wasn't punishing the Afghanistan people who had institutions, schools. Their education system was communist.
Yeah.
The Russians made their education system communist. Atheist-minded people, function in that society. America wanted Russia to be Mother Russia to be dealt her final blow. So they employed the Mujahideen with propaganda through these shayuk that say that, you can't overthrow leaders. They overthrew Russian leaders.
But back then it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. and then when the same thing happens, and these Muslims are, okay, imagine the Mujahideen doing time with Rasul Muhammad.
Yeah.
If they were martyred, even their parents would be so honored. And they come back not martyred, then what was the sentiment? It was sad.
Yeah.
They wanted to wait for the next jihad so they can do what? Die fi sabilillah. So these Muslims are sitting around. They didn't die in Afghanistan. They were victorious. They didn't die. Well, either way is victory, right? But they didn't die, and they waiting on the next one. Oh, Bosnia. Oh, this. Oh, that. So they jumped at it in the street and said, stop.
Yeah.
Allah's will. At first it was Allah's order.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a U.S. order. But
Yeah.
he said first it was Allah's order, now it becomes Allah's will. So Allah's will, it seems today, that's why I came up with the topic, because it seems to stagnate Muslims. Allah's will seems to stagnate Muslims.
Yeah, even our normal conversation I was hearing the other day in a podcast, a brother was from UK, they call it university, they call it uni there, right? Talking about, mashallah, the brother's, kind of, alhamdulillah, very well versed in Islam. He's going for like medical school, stuff like that. So when he was talking about why I'm not married yet, it's something that comes out like, oh, maybe it's not meant for me, I'm having sabr, and
Exactly.
Qadr Allah. I'm like, how do you know it's Qadr Allah?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Some ulama say you can change Allah's qadr with dua,
yeah.
but first you have to know it.
Yeah.
How would you know it changed? How would you know it changed?
Yeah, if I'm not working hard, to let's say looking for potential, you can't leave it to Allah. You know yourself. It's of course this topic. This is also part of the aqidah topic about the qada qadr. It's a very sensitive topic because many ulama from different school of thought discuss about it. They have different views and different things. So maybe I don't know. One day we probably have a subject with that.
So the like I say, those that don't or not accustomed to or very seldom obey Allah's orders, always blaming Allah Ta'ala's will on their situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So examples are Allah Ta'ala told us, through His Rasul Muhammad Sallam, which Muhammad Sallam is the walking Quran. So whatever Allah revealed, Muhammad Sallam lived it. And Muhammad Sallam, he lived it in his speech, in his actions, and also in his silence. He lived it. His facial expressions were living the Quran. Okay? So Allah Ta'ala, through His Rasul Muhammad Sallam, informed us that it is best for us to marry young.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the Islamic State, used to give interest-free loans, of course, to youth, so they could buy a house, start a business, and take care of a family, because that is a protection for society. Because if you don't have that protection for society, where youths can actually afford to get married, and that was part of what the Baitul Mal, the Islamic Bank funded. It funded that because that is a cushion and a preservation of society itself. What you have today, youth that can't afford to get married. So what the Prophet said, fast. Well, fasting then worked, and fasting now works. Fasting worked better then, because now the temptation, it's hard to even keep a fast in this society unless you just quarantine yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really quarantine. You can't go to Walmart fasting. You can't go to the mall fasting. You can't go get gas fasting. Somebody
you surround.
Yeah. You go to get gas and you'll see ass. You know what I'm saying?
And we're talking about like U.S. specifically, and of course the West in general.
Yeah, and a lot of Muslim countries.
Some Muslim countries too. I mean, if you go to Lebanon, I mean,
certain parts of Saudi, you can see some.
Yeah. Nowadays they have like a open, what do you call it? The bikini and
bikini, the beach. Yeah.
Yes.
But those beaches existed a long time ago. They just were.
We suppose Shalihat back in the 80s, and these are where the Umara and the Prince and the rich people used to go hang out, do their thing. But now slowly they try to open it, because the land of so-called Tawheed stuff that terrorism is actually should not be even used. But I think more than half of that population is like millennials. So, and of course at that age we do enjoy entertainment and that kind of stuff. So they're using, you know why they target the youth, because if you look at the Islamic history, some of this futuhat are actually opened by the youth. Like the Sahaba, they're very, very young. They were like commanders, and the subject of youth in Islam is very important. So to basically ruin the Islamic or the so-called Muslim society, let's target the youth first. Corrupt their mind first, so they can lead that life of disaster.
So marrying young is from Islam, and because a lot of people are saying, well, a lot of parents are encouraging their sons and daughters complete university first. Kick your career off. Get your career off the ground first before you marry. What happens is they go to university, they turn into bulldaggers, they turn into Luthean. They turn into Bizranji and Luthis and all this type of stuff. They turn into all this while they're in college, or worse than that, they turn into atheists and evolutionists. That's what happens in college. So because of that, they don't marry young. So then all of a sudden, they're 30, right?
Yeah. Most of them.
Late 20s, 30.
Yeah,
okay.
them.
Now, what does this mean for men? Doesn't mean anything. Because a man has to establish himself financially, everything. That's what a man does, okay? Okay, what that means for a woman. Now, this man, he's looking for somebody, that's going to be really a dependent, these marriages, you see a lot of Desi, if you see a lot of advertisements and things like that that say professional, or they must pray 5 times a day. Okay, what if I pray 5 times a day that day we get married? Like, is that count? I think it's stupid,
That also.
Instead of saying practice the deen, fear Allah, they say professional.
Yeah, you had a good point, but try to understand, not to justify what they're doing, is that their lack of understanding what Islam is. Islam for them is like a traditional upbringing culture, and that's something they're intellectually convinced. A lot of them don't know the basic deed. I asked a couple of my friends from Pakistan, right, in Bangladesh, like, what do you learn in school when it comes to Islam? They have like one, especially I think Pakistan is much better than, a little bit better than Bangladesh. They have like one book called Tarbiyah Islamiyya, which is Islamic upbringing, but it's basic, and they think they know a lot. Like when I talk to this one dude, we know a lot about Islam. No, I don't think most of the Muslims are ignorant. I'm like, you couldn't answer a basic question about what is Aqidah, what is this, what is Arkan al-Iman, very basic stuff. So they are raised you know, like a name. Oh, I'm a Muslim because my mom and dad is a Muslim. I see them pray, I see them fast. That's about it. When it comes to other aspects of life, they have no clue, right? So that's why when you look at these marriages, I want a doctor, professional, that make this much, and yeah, nothing. You don't see Islam at all.
It's nothing. It's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong either. I mean,
but a lot of times, the people that are seeking that professional are not what that professional is looking for.
yeah.
Now, these people marry tribally
Mhm.
in order to strengthen tribes and to make tribes cohesive and all this type of things. They do that type of stuff. But if you talk to them about happiness, because remember, Sakina is the goal. It's tranquility. That means that the wife is white. She's feminine. She's submissive. The man is masculine. He's protective. He's jealous. That's the balance that you have for male and female. A lot of times that doesn't exist. I'm not saying arranged marriages are the best ones. I'm saying because you took out all that superficial stuff and you matched them with a person with a good family. Today, arranged marriages, boys and girls that don't pray, cover, know anything about Islam are being put together because of tribe, put together because of nationality and patriotism and things like that. They're being put together for these reasons. And like what would this couple rely on when they have trouble?
Yeah,
when there's nashaza,
yeah.
what would they rely on to solve the issue?
If you look at all these so-called, I don't know what they even call it, dating Muslim app, but if you look at TikTok and dating app, wallahi, there's no Islam. I mean, even the hijab there's no Islam because the hijab will go to university mixed with other, opposite sex, so they're used to it. So now when you tell them Islamic you're not supposed to mix, it's very hard for them to understand that concept because they were raised in a certain way and became these.
It's not harmful for them as long as they stay in a mixed group.
Yeah, it's
and nobody takes them by the hand into the alley.
And because desensitized,
Desensitized.
Desensitized, right? So this one sister in the podcast, she said she's from UK uni, right? She's alhamdulillah, she says I'm practicing and everything, but unfortunately she even admitted that most of the sisters there are not. So she even is having a hard time from the sister, like making fun of her, not hanging with her because she's very mashallah hijab and proper dress and loose and loose dress, not tight and stuff like that. So she was saying actually even university, they act like kuffar. It's no different. Like so then what's the point? I mean I've seen this back. Remember in Dallas long time ago with the brother Jibril Allah Yarhamu?
We saw it.
We went to UTD to give a talk and we saw some of the sisters and that was that was like more than 10, 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And we were asking like why these sisters were wearing like not proper outfit. And they're excused why the brothers don't look at them because they look at the kuffar woman. I'm like, nothing Islamic, all emotional. I'm like,
sister said that online. She said that the reason she does something is because no, the sister, she was saying that Pashtun sister.
Yeah.
Is the Pashtun, No, the language is Pashtun. The people Pashtun.
Pashtun can be a place too.
So what happened was, she said that when she's with these sisters, she knows she shouldn't be wearing makeup, right?
Yeah.
But she with these sisters, they got makeup on, and the boys notice them.
Yeah.
She said, so I'm tempted to wear makeup. I said, are you looking for a husband, or you want the boys in general to notice you?
Yeah.
I say, and at least she was honest.
Yeah.
While the makeup is being worn, a lot of people are in denial.
Yeah, and they say stuff like I do for myself. What is the bull crap?
That's a bunch of crap.
That's the most dumbest nonsense answer I've heard from a Muslim woman. Oh, I do it for me. Come on.
But anyway, marry young is from Islam, and Muslims are not doing so.
And actually attack it.
So when they get into late 20s, 30, early 30s, and even now these days beyond that, when they get into that, you know what happens? They say, "Oh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have went for PhD. I should have went for my doctorate. I shouldn't have went for my master's. I should have married young. There was nothing." It's the same advice we give them all the time. I should have. And guess what? They say, but Allah's will. Allah, and it was Allah's will, and I'm going to be patient till Allah sends me. Allah is not going to send you anybody.
I'm going to tell you one thing. The other day...
It's not a sending going on here.
A couple of months ago, Khalid, mashallah, put a good article about why marrying young is actually, beneficial Islamic and health and all that. And you can also, if you want to go to university to pursue whatever career, you can do that too while you're marrying early, right?
Yeah, stop complaining.
Yeah, but guess who attacked her the most?
Women.
These so-called westernized, modernized, feminine mindset Muslim women attacked her the most. Yeah. And the solution One of the question was how to protect your aura, your nerves from the zina. You know what the solution that these weak male
Men need to lower their
traitors,
gaze.
male feminists, you know them,
Yeah.
these male feminists, which is kind of traitor to men, which is kind of disgusting. Then these feminists, you know what they told her? Oh, the brother can masturbate or can watch porn until they get. I'm like, wow, that's the solution, man. Look, go back to her all the posts and look at all this crazy comment coming from Muslim, not from Kufa. They're saying this. That's how he can protect himself by not marrying, but he can, play with himself with Mr. Dingaling.
A brother.
You know what I mean? Not the double and the bubble. I didn't know the double and the bubble is the Somali word, man. We just learned it yesterday.
The double means bank.
Yeah.
Double means bank.
Ahmed was saying that. Oh, okay.
When I was in Morocco, it was like double.
Oh, Arabic, duburi, in the Quran. Dubur also means, Yeah, Allah said, do not enter the duburi, So you kind of took that word and,
So
I'm going to fight it.
man, that's crazy because a brother, well, he's not young anymore, but a brother came to me and said, yeah, I tend to. No, he didn't say what he does. He says, in order to, cause I can't, if I get a second wife, I'll be financially ruined, all this kind of stuff. She'll take my kids, this and that. He said, man, she doesn't take care of me.
Yeah.
Or at the level of my libido. So, is it wrong to watch porn? I say, well, see, you know the answer to that.
One haram don't make the other
One
haram.
thing doesn't have anything to do with the other.
Yeah.
Okay, I say, but porn does. I say porn is equal to rape. I said this is rape. These women are being raped. A lot of times that ooh and ah you hear is dubbed over. It's, the vocals are dubbed over. It's not them making the sound. Okay. These are stock vocals.
Even psychologists saying that.
Yeah, I say this is rape. I say a lot of them, if you check their history, 9 out of 10 or even better are traumatized through some type of, creepy uncle or, something, more likely family member or close family friend, traumatized from rape. Rape or whatever. So
yeah, be careful saying rape.
Yeah, it's a lot of factors that go into that. I said that's not the love making. That's the sexy time. Sexy, you're not being sexy for looking at that. I say also so-called straight porn is the gayest porn out there.
Yeah, because you're watching somebody doing something.
He said, what do you mean? I said, dude, they making you comfortable looking at another man. They making you comfortable looking at another man's junk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And once you get comfortable doing that,
yeah,
you might get no reach around.
And this thing with any movies, like when you watch American movies, you gotta, we used to forward and not just like be normal, like
turn away and
some brothers don't. They're like excited.
well, like you say, desensitized. You get desensitized. Back in the day, you show an ankle, and dudes used to be like, "Whoa, did you see that ankle, man?" Yes. I'm serious, bro. Ankle, and then they showed the calf one day. Borno.
Yeah.
The Borno. I'm saying because that's how. But now it's you can see full on. I mean, my heart jumps when what's that I almost call it the F word. Say the one who ran for president, buttocks.
Who?
Booty. What's the last name?
Who?
Jeff Booty or something.
Bezos?
Like a butt. The one that ran for president.
President of what?
He kissed a man on TV. Boutros Ghali or something. What was his name, man?
Which president of U.S.?
El Booty.
Who, man?
Buttocks. His name is.
This is becoming like freaking.
His name is double or something.
I read it. This is becoming like a porn right now.
No. His name is the young guy ran for. He's like a senator now or something. He ran for president.
Of the United States?
No, America. Booty boy. Somebody give me the name.
Somebody to come and give the name.
What was this? Like butt something?
What is it?
Anus Sharosh? What's his name? His name is Anus or something.
No, he was the one debating with the dad. That's
okay. Anyway, so this guy kissed the guy We were watching a commercial the other day, and two boys. I said,
Regular TV.
Allah, man, we can't. This regular TV, we can't. We was watching a football game. Actually.
Yeah, it was a football
In
game.
the commercial for the football game, these two dudes said, "Salam alaikum." No, they didn't. They said, "Jesus be on top of you." Well, how did they say Jesus be on top of you? And they start kissing each other. I'm like, man, stuff a lot.
Stuff out there, but it's becoming very, very.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like the heart jumps. Booty. No.
Buttigieg something?
Buttigieg, booty boy.
Yeah, okay.
Booty boy, Buttigieg.
So what kind of weird name is that? That's a nasty
Buttigieg,
name.
Buttigieg, yeah, he knew
That's
what
nasty.
he was doing. So anyway, so because we don't marry young, we blame Allah's will on the fact that we are single at older ages, and this really doesn't apply to men. I'm 51 right now. I wouldn't have a problem. Being in the lab course,
Nobody's perfect,
finding a wife. Now, that's another story. But I wouldn't have a problem finding a wife. And I gave up. I don't do the fairy tale, the person for me, and all. I don't do all that, man.
Soulmate nonsense.
Marry somebody for a month and. Anyway,
some sects say that it's okay to do mut'ah.
No, that's not mut'ah. It lasts as long as it lasts.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can make it last as long as key sweat, then you're good. But if you can't, it ain't no sense of holding on to a headache. People got to be able to change. Men and women got to be able to adjust.
Yeah.
We're not talking about compromise. We're talking about adjust.
Yeah.
You make adjustments. Look. I come in from work. I'm tired. I might want to sit down for a minute. Yeah. Just unwind with the fan on me or something. And
the $5 fan.
15 minutes later, I might jump in the shower.
Yeah.
You get married. You walk in from work. You go straight to the shower. You might call it here. Hey, put my stuff in the shower. Up in the, or you walk in, grab your stuff, go in the shower, and you come out just funky fresh.
Yeah. It's funny because this individual, the sister in the Kuwaiti channel was saying that even with the misyar, they do some misyar in Saudi, but sometimes they don't do it right. She had a good interesting point. She said, if you do misyar, you're not a man enough. You gotta really marry up to 4 and be in charge of like really taking care of them. It doesn't have to be like, oh, living fancy, but you are the leader. I mean, you say it.
I think every marriage with stipulations is misyar.
Yeah, because what she was saying that there were some that did it, but guess how? It was the woman that was asking for it.
Yeah.
Now, we know that your first wife is going to throw a fit. Don't worry, I have enough money. We can still do. When the woman initiated, that's a different story. But anyway, as you were saying, the stuff that we see nowadays on the TV, I would die just becoming like I'm telling you, pretty soon in the masajid they're gonna come. You're gonna ask the imam for marriages, and if you refuse, you're gonna be in trouble.
So Allah says to marry women, tabalakum, marry women.
Whatever you desire, whatever you desire. Tabalakum means whatever you desire.
Whatever is suitable to you.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for somebody, with deen, then if that's suitable, you're looking for somebody with beauty, and actually the ulama prioritize looking at the beauty before the deen.
Yeah.
Now, why did they say look for the beauty before the deen? Because if you are physically attracted to her, now look at her deen. Don't hear good things about her deen, and she hears that, mashallah, he likes my deen, and then you see her, and she's like 400 pounds of deen.
Yeah, remember that, what do you call it?
Yeah.
That story?
Maybe she didn't have deen, though. Yeah. She had niqab.
And that's what she did in the niqab.
And niqab can hide a mustache.
Yeah. So when the niqab came out, the brother had to run, right?
Yeah.
So, and he even left the mahar too.
Oh man, I don't even know what became of that. But anyway, so Allah says marry those that seem suitable. And suitable is, of course, you look for deen, but make sure you're attracted to her before you look to her deen, because she can't change her looks, but she can change her deen. You know what I'm saying? So if you say, I'm neglecting you because of deen, then you're giving us something to work with. If you tell her I'm neglecting you because you're ugly or I'm not attracted to you, then where does she go from there? Okay? She's going to start being self-conscious, thinking that she... And women are funny like that. A woman can look like a lab skeleton. She'll think that she's fat. Them anorexic people, a lot of them, they walk around, you can see the bones. I mean, literally see the bones. It's like skin, it's like no muscle, skin on bone. They look like they're about to die. You can see their hip bone, their clavicles. You can see everything. And what happens? They say, I'm fat. So it's a mentality thing. So
the ulama, one of the reasons they said, one of the wisdoms is that so you don't hurt the sister's feelings. Look to her, make sure she's suitably physically to you. Then look to her deen, you know, and that's why they say it so. But nevertheless, so you marry who you like, matabe lakum. You marry who you like, but because what we do, we don't seek suitable mates. We'll get married for what? They say, man, that sister got deen, bro. You know, I'm not attracted to her, but I'm gonna tell you, full disclosure, my first wife, I married her not for looks, not for looks. I married her because she came into the deen with fire, and I needed somebody to match my fire. You know what I'm saying, because you know we always talking and you know and all this and stuff like that. And she came in and she did very well. She matched my fire, but then she got to start hanging around these Muslims from yeah, buddy.
These
New York, New Jersey, where the hell they were from? I don't know. She started hanging around. They moved here and she started hanging around them. And she didn't know you can have on you can wear your scarf while you making zinna with the kafir. She didn't know you can wear your scarf at the same time. We didn't know practicing, not practicing. They came out here with terminology like dean or look at these pictures of me on the beach in my bikini. You know, say what. Why you in a bikini on the beach and stop with love? Oh, I wasn't deaning then. Oh, you know, so they brought a bunch of terminology. All we knew here, we were really dumb.
Deaning, wow.
All we knew was we knew being Muslim, obeying Allah and His Messenger. That's all we knew here. We didn't know about deaning and not deaning. We didn't know about people rejecting Islam and then coming back. We didn't know about none of that. We didn't know about practicing, non-practicing. We just knew, okay, we Muslims now. We believe in Allah and His Messenger. Allah and His Messenger say do this, and we just did it. We did it. You know what I'm saying? They came down with this new terminology, this deviant way of viewing Islam, and they corrupted, you know, even the sister that came into the deen with fire. She wanted to leave her jahili alone, and she found out through them that you can be jahil and a Muslim at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of them also, when they come to Islam, this is also part of fault from our part. For some of us, we don't explain Islam properly. We don't explain the Aqidah properly, right? So some of them come, oh, I had a dream, I don't believe them. Some of them say, I have a boyfriend, I'm sorry, I don't believe it. They're not sincere. I know I can't judge the heart, but over the years I've seen it. I've seen it, like all these so-called Muslims, they say they had dreamed that because a boyfriend or a girlfriend, in 6 months they go back.
Yeah.
They go back, but nobody sits down and explain. In fact, some of them, when we sat down with them, explained to them, they kind of didn't, you know, they kind of hold back. They didn't decide to take the shahada yet because, some information they were not aware of it, so they had to go back and think about it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But we Muslims like, oh no, if this person leaves the masjid, Allah's going to hit him, then what's going to happen? Well, Allah knows what's going to happen. Why you worry about it?
Well, I know this one dude, he was super beta. he if his girlfriend didn't act right, he wouldn't participate in the marriage to do nothing.
Oh.
And when him and his girlfriend was on good terms, then he would, you know, like, dude, like, man,
wow, this is messed up too.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but nevertheless, so I know Muslims that they say they became Muslim because they believe in Allah and His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? They say that's why. But when Muslim people don't act right or treat them right or you know, accommodate them as they feel like they should be accommodated, then they start to say, well, I don't want to be Muslim anymore. Well, we know Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said one tends to be careful when you take as your Khalil. One tends to take on the deen of the Khalili, you know, his deen. Yeah. So what happens is that you choose these bad company, and in times of need, in times of this or that, they're not there for you because you didn't choose good company, okay? And because of those 2-3 Muslims you know, you abandon Allah, His Messenger, and the entire Ummah. You abandon them because why? You'll say, well, if it was Allah's will, you know, my rent would have been paid. Well, if you became Muslim to get your rent paid, you know, the shaitan, you know, the Catholics will pay your rent.
Because they have no yaqeen in Allah. Yeah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide, yes. So, I mean, you got to put the effort. And sometimes, you know, yes, I understand. Sometimes if you don't put the effort, Allah will give it to you. But that's not a sign that you're going to be lazy all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Islam, mashallah, if you look at Islam from a different perspective, it's really a practical way of life, and everything is very practical.
Yeah.
The nasa'i', the amal, the transaction, the muamalat, everything's practical, like it's part of life in itself, right? Yeah. But unfortunately, we don't treat it that way. We treat it like some sort of outside, supernatural, spiritual thing. We don't look at like from reality, and that's another problem too. You know what I mean?
So, for instance, I know the shiuk today. They tell us just make dua, just make dua, just make dua. And we know that good and bad is happening. Good and bad is happening to those who make dua, and good and bad is happening to those that don't make dua.
Yeah.
Good and bad is happening to Muslims, and good and bad is happening to kuffar.
Mm-hmm.
So the solution that the shiuk today give us for every single thing, and that's not all of them. In fact, there's a minority of shiuk that actually give you the Islamic solution in actions and stuff like that. So and thinking, but nevertheless, so you got these seemingly unanswered dua. You're praying for the ummah to be relieved of their hardship. You're praying for the Muslims not to starve. You're praying for the Muslims not to be butchered like animals. You're praying for all of this, and your dua is not being answered.
Yeah.
So again, what they say, well, that's Allah's will. But you said dua can change Allah's will.
Yeah.
So continue to make dua. Continue to make dua. You know what's missing? Muhammad ﷺ said, if you do not enjoin right and forbid wrong, you will make dua to Allah and He won't answer you. See, we're neglecting Allah's order to enforce right and forbid wrong. We're neglecting Allah's order. Then, because we're not getting any favorable results as an ummah, and the individuals we're doing well. I mean, the convenience stores making a lot of money. Okay, the pork is selling, the khamr is selling, the lotto tickets, the scratch offs are selling, and we're making a lot of money. But we think that we as individuals are doing capitalistically well, financially well, right? Of course, it's going to be used as fire to burn you with, to fuel the fire to burn you with. But nevertheless, I'm talking about as an ummah, our du'as are not being answered. Who doesn't make dua for the ummah? We always make dua for the ummah. Every khutbah, every day we're making dua for the ummah. But at the end of the day, what is happening? It seems like our du'as are being seemingly ignored or unanswered because we're doing what? Again, neglecting Allah's order. Yeah. So we say, well, it's Allah's will for us to suffer here. Allah's will for us to be raped. Allah's will for Him to rape our kids in Abu Ghraib, and Guantanamo Bay, and it's Allah's will for our sisters to be raped, and it's Allah's will for old men to be butchered and stuff like that.
And sometimes those sort of things goes against human beings' nature. What I mean by that, human being, when they see oppression, no solution coming up, no matter how many advice you give it to them, the inner self gonna start contradicting.
Yeah.
So then the shaitan gonna come in, is gonna do waswasa and gonna play with their mind, because they see one thing, and of course when we make dua, Allah knows what's best for us. He can accept it, He doesn't accept it, that's in His will. We know that, but at the same time, we cannot be too naive and basically, what is it that the believer cannot be hit in the same hole twice, right? So when you see all this problem in the world happen and it's still not changing, that means, you know what? You have to take some practical action with the dua to make the change, right? So as long there's no practical action, no real solution, from an Islamic perspective, and this thing going to continue. Makes sense? So, I mean, this is what's going to happen because it goes against the inner nature itself. Like when they see it, something's going to bother them. Like internally they're going to be not comfortable. When you say that, just make dua with no action. Even the action, they don't know what is the action.
Yeah.
They just say, just do anything. I'm like, do something. Like, do something what? Right? Then on the other hand, to different catalysts, you have these so-called ulama that either directly or indirectly keeping the Muslims asleep. You know what I mean? They're actually keeping the Muslims asleep by not addressing the main issues, the main problem, and how to really change society and reducing Islam and bringing it to other so-called religion, because Islam cannot be compared with other religion, not at all. It cannot be. Other religions don't have what Islam has, so you cannot compare them to say we're the same. We're not the same. Even the so-called Abrahamic religion, whatever, Jews and Christians, no, we're not the same. You cannot bring it to that level.
It's like what I said yesterday when we went out to eat. I said, the sheikh said, make dua, make dua. So you've been making dua for 10 years, and things are getting worse. And the sheikh said, did you make dua? You said, yeah, I made dua like this. He said, no, you should have done like this. What is that going to change? What is that going to change?
Yeah.
You made dua like this? You idiot.
Yes.
Make dua like this.
Yes. And of course, dua has a power, but Islam teaches us that you have to take action. If you look at Muhammad and the Sahaba, they took a lot of actions.
The dua came between the preparation and the action. Muhammad prepared, made dua, and then went out.
Yeah.
We skip preparation. Why do like
Masatag ng kuwa, yeah. Masatag ng kuwa, yeah.
We skip the preparation, we skip the going out, and we only make dua. So we become duaists.
Du'as, yeah.
Duaists.
I mean, if you look at the so-called Muslim world, they have military, they have resources, you have these so-called ulama, scholars that has power, influence.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you go to your ulama and have the ulama talk to the leaders to unite? But they're not going to do that because some of these ulama are actually
And the
racist.
ulama have the power. You think the king has power? The ulama have the power.
And when I say these ulama are racist, I mean they're like nationalists.
Yeah.
They love their own so-called land. They
Same thing.
don't. I don't want my land to be united with somebody
No,
else.
it's not even that. Because how many Medina graduates from Pakistan, from this place, from Mali, from all these places, all these graduates, what are their loyalty? Back to the kingdom, the loyalty to the kingdom.
Because
they
they
would not speak out against the kingdom because the prestige that they have, the izzah, didn't come from Allah. The izzah came from the king and from the family. So how could you dare criticize the kingdom, even though you know the hawk? You're not supposed to cover the hawk with batil.
Well, sometimes they do pay the students, so it's like you're doing a favor.
Yeah.
So why should I even go against you, even if you're wrong?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
I like subhanallah, but that's what we see nowadays, right? So in one hand, there are sincere, ignorant Muslims that want the change, but these ulama keeping them, sleep. So and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to really punish this ulama. Yeah, I said it. Because they keep the ummah asleep.
Yeah.
I know it sounds hard.
I mean, you can make dua for Allah to punish them.
Yeah.
But aren't they the first to be judged?
Yeah, no.
So it's all covered. It's already covered.
Yeah, and not just that.
It's like the sister said, I voted for Obama. I say, may Allah give you a portion of all the Muslims.
That's in the Quran.
I say, may Allah give you a portion of all the Muslims he kills. Brother, why would you wish that on me? I say, did you tear it out of your Quran? Because that's in the Quran.
Actually, you mentioned that in one of the group. Remember?
Yeah,
some of these brothers, they got the buffy nibble.
The anus.
Nibble buffy.
The anus.
Buffy nibble. Don't even go.
The anus was like.
The double.
I can't even.
Don't go there. We're gonna get shut down, man.
The anus got tight.
No,
got tight.
No, they got the nibbles buffy, man. That's what happened.
The nibbles got buffy.
But it's in the Quran. I mean, you're gonna share because there's a difference between willingly doing it and you don't have no choice doing it.
And they watch too many Avenger movies. You know why? They think I got the power of Thanos. May Allah give you all of the punishment. I have no power. I have no power.
And all these Muslimin that, wallah, I was listening to this conversation about the Hijaz, right? These brothers are like complaining, saying that how people in power are spreading more haram, oppressing this citizen. I'm thinking, man, wallah, in one hand, I feel sad for my brothers, right, in the Hijaz. At the same time, I remember how the non-citizen of that nation were suffering. You all used to treat them like crap for like 4 or 5 decades.
Yeah,
it's like it's coming back to you now. So now do you feel it now?
They're like Hindus with the caste system.
Yeah.
You have the Dali and the Brahma, and all those.
Subhanallah, man. Speaking of, I don't know if this was part of the shaking the Muslim head, but in India right now they're burning a lot of masajid in certain areas in India. They're causing a lot of these extremist Hindu biatches are actually, causing a lot of issues. But again, you have this guy.
They can't even punch properly. Yeah. Like if I went there, I would beat up like 100 Hindus a day. They can't even punch. They go like this. Like man, bop, 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 bop. And I'm twisted. See, I'm twisted. I'll twist. See, I'll twist. Yeah. You gotta twist the knuckle, twist the knuckle, twist the knuckle. You gotta twist it so you can land this big one right here.
Yeah.
Land that big one.
On the forehead.
Just lay them out. Bah!
On the forehead.
Die.
Allah and
that boy's a sniper.
May Allah curse them, man. They're really, causing a lot of hardship. But again, when these rich, Muslim have the money, has the so-called, we have a political influence and power. Why don't you go help? But they won't because they are. There you go.
You have to do this.
Yeah. Anyway, subhanallah. Yeah.
So extending from that is our current political state. Our current political state, where we used to be leaders and looked up to and never saw the kuffar as superior to us. Our current political state is that we're bottom feeders. We rely on others to feed us, others to clothe us, others to protect us. Yeah. And that is our wilayah. That's ours. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala has made us shuhada ala nas and
Witness on mankind.
made Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam a shaheed over us. So Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave us this message, pure, clean, white, unadulterated, and complete. Okay. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. Okay, so we have it. Okay. Now it is for us to carry it to mankind. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Those that are present, let them tell those who are not present." Okay.
Before we continue, this brother Joad wants your T-shirt, man. Where can they get it from?
My closet.
You can send Amoo the message on his Facebook. Send him a private message, and we'll figure out how can inshallah we'll send
Inshallah,
you.
inshallah. Depending on how big you are.
Yeah.
If you're 5X, I'm not doing 5X, man. I'd rather send you an Amoo Yum Yum bedspread. An Amoo Yum Yum quilt. You like the AIDS quilt? I'll have young Pakistani kids sewing the quilt.
Oh my God! Or you can do the netting, because
Sing a song.
do the netting, man. Do the netting, like Mufti Mink was showing that,
Oh, the knitting.
Yeah,
The Mufti Mink. Yeah.
To be man.
I'll have Mufti Mink make you one out of a yarn.
Oh man! Oh, subhanallah.
So again, our political plight, our political situation, we became bottom feeders when we used to be leaders.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. The deen is the deen then. What was the deen then is the deen now. Was not the deen then is not the deen now. We have the deen. We have the Quran and Sunnah. What we lack is testicular fortitude. We're not men anymore. Our ulama are not men.
Yeah.
Our ulama lap dance. They do the WAP, Nicki Minaj, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that Nicki? No, it's Cardi B. Cardi B and Megan and Megan the male horse.
Yeah.
They do the dance for the king. Look, king, you want another fatwa?
It's like a cartoon show.
Am I fatwa in the back?
Fatwa in the back. Let me give you some fatwa. Stink, right? No, but actually, if you look at it from a natural fitra, realistic point of view, I'm telling the Muslim, all you Muslim out there, right? You are not in the position of power to demand for anything. For anything.
They're not in their rightful position. Forget position of power. Be in your rightful position. When the Sahabi went to the Kisra of Persia, right? He went and he walked in with his donkey into the royal chambers that was decked out with more silver, more gold and jewels to really impress this Sahabi. And so he saw that the entrance was shorter. He knew that was not the regular entrance. Because they heard Muslims don't bow.
Yeah.
A lot of you Muslims bow. So I know y'all can't quite understand. Muslims don't bow to the makhluk, to the creation. Okay. So he saw the entrance was made smaller, so he has to do this, so the people could say, oh, he bowed. No, he walked in backwards with his donkey, and they said he dragged his sword across the carpet, which means it was ripping the carpet. It was shredding the carpet, ripping the carpet. His blades are sharp.
Yeah.
He got to the throne and tied his donkey on the throne.
Gangster, man.
Instead of, the guards are ready to cut his neck.
Yes.
Instead of killing him, the Kisra sat back and said, this dude gotta be crazy.
Yeah.
He said, what brings you Arabs out of the desert? He said, we come to free you. You know what he was wearing? He wasn't wearing anything nice as his shirt.
Yeah.
He was wearing something like this.
Yeah. Hey, I'm proud. Wearing something like this.
No. Actually, they said his clothes were kind of tethered. They weren't brand new or nice clothes.
Just like me.
His clothes were meek.
Yeah.
His demeanor was macho.
Yeah. Manly.
Yeah, masculine. He wasn't vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like Joe Bradford say.
Yeah, that's not ghibah. You can go to his Instagram.
Be vulnerable and turn the other cheek, preferably the buttocks. The Buttigieg, turn your Buttigieg to the yeah, be vulnerable. Oh yes. Anyway, it's might be vulnerable. Yeah, stuff like that. Anyway,
yeah, you use the hadith of.
So our current political status is not because our clothes is nice, not because our palaces are not decked with gold and silver. Actually, the palaces are now.
Yeah.
These days,
even the bathroom.
Yeah. So anyway, toilets are golden on the yacht.
Yeah.
So anyway. That's not why our status is so low. Our status is that we no longer fear Allah Ta'ala. We are not obeying Allah Ta'ala's order, and we're blaming His will. What is happening? We're blaming it on His will as if we have no say in the matter. Again, Muhammad said, if you do not enforce right and forbid wrong, you will make dua to Allah and He won't answer you. He will cause you to be humiliated.
Yeah.
Allah will cause us to be humiliated. What we notice is that our ummah today is humiliated.
Yeah, I mean, if you have all these so-called Muslim countries, Arab or non-Arab, right? You have all these ulama, all the resources. If they really believe, like, if they really confident and believe in Islam to be, inshallah, ruled by the justice of Islam, ala manhaj al-nubuwwah, right? Why wouldn't they gather with the so-called kings and, hey, let's just be one. Let's break the borders. They're not going to do it because, the colonists, the Westerners, the seculars are actually holding them by their bows as well. You know what I mean? And controls them. And that's why you're not in a position to ask for it. And I see these Muslims going and like marching and demanding Palestine issue, Sudan issue, or Kashmir issue.
They're
Why?
begging they're begging the mufsidun,
Yeah.
the troublemakers. They're begging the troublemakers to make peace.
Yeah.
To repair and to make peace. You know what I'm saying?
Jawad said is that people want dunya more than afterlife. Yeah, in a way, I think so. They love the dunya so much, the biryani and the shish kebab and shawarma, and that's what they try to participate in a system that actually goes against your own belief system as well.
A lot of them, yes, they want the dunya. That's why they disobey Allah. But I'm saying to ignore the order of Allah Ta'ala, yes, they're trying to find a happy place in this dunya. They're trying to find a safe space. They're trying to find a happy medium, as they say. They don't want to make any waves. Certainly don't want to make any waves like Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did, or his Sahaba anhum, or the Salaf did, period. They don't want to make any waves like that. You know why? Because they all talk and dress.
Yeah.
They talk and they dress up.
And sometimes they say that, that's going to cause a fitna. I'm like, didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, al-fitnatu ashaddu min al-qatl, which means fitna is worse than killing?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Worse than killing.
What are you talking about, man? We became more betas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so weak.
But that's the logic.
Yeah.
If we obey Allah and His Messenger, it'll cause more death. So just sit around and wait for Allah's will. Like this is what y'all shuyukh are saying. I would never follow anybody that gave me some terrible information like that.
Yeah, actually, I
gave
don't
me
trust
some terrible solution like that. I would never follow anybody.
Anytime I see so-called, of course we love and respect the ulama. Allah said that.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Yeah, like ulama warathul anbiya.
Muhammad talk about the ulama al-su,
Ulama salatin.
Yeah, the evil ulama. I talk about all of those,
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole book. There's so many books talk about the salatin, ulama salatin.
Muhammad talked about the evil qiraat.
Yeah. Even Imam al-Ghazali, rahmatullah, talked about it too. You know what I mean? There's so many ulama
Muhammad talked about the evil reciters of Quran.
Yeah.
He said they mesmerize you with their recitation, but they're evil. They're evil. They're there to misguide you. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's how sometimes in marriage you have to filter people out, right? Yeah. Well, the way I filter ulama is by this. Like when I see ulama that defend their corrupt rulers,
yeah,
right?
of course,
make you sleep. I know that regardless whether they're directly or indirectly working with these so-called corrupt rulers, I don't trust them. That's it. This is my filter process. I don't trust them whatsoever.
So anyway, well, I just want to mention lastly that Suratul Ma'idah talked about that the formula to prosper is to obey Allah Ta'ala. And this is in Suratul Ma'idah, ayat 35, 90, 100, and other ayat in Suratul Ma'idah that stress this point that the way to prosper is to obey Allah Ta'ala. You know what I'm saying? The way to prosper is actually to obey Allah Ta'ala. So when we start following Allah Ta'ala's order and His commands, obeying Allah Ta'ala, then we will see prosper. But if all you're going to do is sit on your hands or your thumbs and just only make dua, there's no preparation, no going out after dua, then we're going to get what we get. The reward for good is good. The reward for evil is evil. The reward for nothing is what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing then evil. Okay? Nothing then punishment.
Yeah, just don't do anything and put Allah in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't accomplish my life, or because it was written for me not to accomplish, or I did my best, but Allah didn't want to make it to happen. Like, what kind of talk is that? People, they use this all the time. Oh, I planned it, but qadr Allah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I didn't control to hit somebody. Yeah, I can say that's probably qadr Allah ma sha'a fa'al, but we don't just throw that term like that, you know. I've been hearing this a lot, like.
But it's
like,
just excuse. It's
yeah.
an excuse. And Surah Al-Nahl, the Nahl,
Bee.
the bee, Allah Ta'ala says that, he talks about Ramadan, right? And he tells us the requirements for Ramadan, and Allah Ta'ala said He wants for us ease and not hardship. Allah intends for us ease and not hardship. And I say that out of all the acts of ibadat, Ramadan is the hardest because it's dealing with something that's an organic need, which is food and drink. And relations with your wife is very hard to avoid that, you know. Especially if you're a lunchtime brother, you know. So
Right.
it's very hard to avoid that. And Allah Ta'ala is taking halal sexual relations from you. He's taking if you like to fight, that's being taken away. If you like, food and drink, Allah is taking that away during the daylight hours from dusk till dawn, you know. And I say that's the hardest act of ibadat, because you only have to do Hajj once. You got to do Ramadan every year. You know what I'm saying? 29, 30 days. So I say that's one of the hardest acts of ibadat. And Allah Ta'ala, after He gives the requirements in the the rules for Ramadan, Siyam Ramadan, the fasting Ramadan, He says Allah intends for you ease and not hardship. That means that even if you find this act of ibadah difficult and hard, right? If you find it, the ease outweighs it. Going through that little bit brings you a lot of ease. Brings you a lot of ease. You know, brings you a lot of ease. So anyway,
Shaking my Muslim head.
Actually, that was Baqarah.
Really?
That was Baqarah.
Not Nahl?
Yeah, Nahl talks about if Allah willed, He would have made us all one, nation.
Right.
Now people say, "Oh man, let's get rid of racism. We don't see color. Islam, we're colorblind." No, we're not. No, we're not. Allah talks about the colors in the Quran. You know, the hues of the earth, the hues in our skin tones. Allah says this is all signs from Allah Ta'ala. So Islam didn't want us to be colorblind. So Nahl talks about if Allah willed, He would have made us all one nation.
Yeah.
You know. In Surah Al-Baqarah said, about the Ramadan and stuff like that. The ease over the hardship.
What's a shaking Muslim head?
The shaking Muslim head is the tritas.
What is the catritas?
Now, I saw...
Halloween?
Yeah, we know what Halloween is. These Muslims have these... we talked about this before, but the Muslims have this thing where they're trying to combat holidays. So Christmas they might call it Eidmas.
Oh yeah.
Halloween they call it Halaloween, because the Kafirs say it's dangerous to go and get graped at every other house in the neighborhood. So instead of being grape, we're gonna have trunk or treat. So the Kafirs just pull up in the parking lot, pop the trunk, and you get graped inside the parking lot.
Stop. Yeah, but this is not delusional. They think you're living in the West because of the rules of law. You think you're protected?
Yeah.
Crazy people don't follow law.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
why when these Kafir talk about gun control now, it's like, dude.
It's only the criminals. The gun control is for the people that lawfully have a gun.
Yes,
it's not for the criminals.
This is the dumbest
about that.
argument ever. Like, because the bad people are not gonna listen to the law. They're gonna get it anyway. And how would they want
criminals don't care about gun control.
This is stupid, man. Same thing. These Muslims think that they can go at night, especially the sisters.
Yeah.
Hang out after
Oh, and they'll do it. I mean, if you don't see it on your social media, they'll do it. And guess what they said? It's just candy. Well, Abu Tariq said that some opinions are that that this Halloween is shirk and cook. What do you mean some opinions? I don't like that. I think I understand what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He was trying to keep this discussion balanced, and he said, but
First of all, getting candy is bad for your teeth, bad for your health. It's a lot of sugar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stop that. Like,
and celebrating the Day of the Dead. Yeah. Dias Muertos, in Spanish. To do all of that, that's shirk.
Yes.
Okay, that's shirk. Okay, and what happened? Kufr at best, shirk. Okay,
Yeah.
So this is what happened. So the kids are going to school, and the teachers are trying to trick the Muslim kids. They're telling them that, this is just a pumpkin patch. You get the hayride, pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
They're telling them that, carve a pumpkin. There's nothing wrong with carving a pumpkin. It's not about Halloween. This is the season. What's the season they call it? It's not fall. It's what is this
Summer,
season?
spring, winter.
It's this pumpkin season.
Festivus
What the
for the
hell?
rest of us.
Starbucks. Well, I don't know.
Starbucks.
Anyway, so
No, the Festivus for the rest
the
of us.
festivals, yeah,
For the rest of us.
the feet of strength with the aluminum pole. So what happens is that they're saying that uh, it's just the season. It's not the holiday. Muslims are trying to justify everything. So the sister posts a picture that her son drew or colored. You know, he drew or colored a pumpkin. You could they have it's,
Basically, halal, like Brother Jawad said, like halalify everything.
yeah,
Halalify everything, you know.
So this is exactly what she posted. Like, okay, if your son did that and came home with it, my children came home with that, I'd be like, Astaghfirullah Azim, son, daughter, we don't do this. Don't tell the teacher that you ain't got, you're not doing this no more. We're not painting no pumpkin. Matter of fact, I'll talk to her, but in case I'm not there, and she at school said, look, we can't participate in none of y'all holidays. We have our own Eids and our own Eidain, whatever, So anyway, that was the issue. But the sister posted it. She said, "Oh, mashallah, look what my son did." It's not the season. It's the holiday. Hala is another term for holy. This is their way of worship. This is the people. The trick or treat. The Jehovah's Witnesses have better iman than a lot of you people, man. Okay, the issue is that they believe that on this day, Dias Muertos, that the dead would rise and haunt the houses of the living.
Yeah.
And the only way you can avoid being harmed is to give them a treat. That's why they call it trick or treat. So the trick was harm, okay? And the treat was you have to give them some foodstuffs or candy or whatever. And this is how this is the root. Not necessarily the root, but this is the mechanisms of the holiday.
The so-called something treat the spirit, whatever the dead. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
trick
yeah.
them, except
Yeah.
Michael Myers. You can't trick him.
Oh, Michael Myers.
He will
man,
take your life.
Man, look, I like that
No matter
dude.
what. Yeah, no matter
If
what.
Michael Myers was real, I'll hang out with him.
Yeah, no matter
I'll
what.
give him dollar. Son, right? Tawheed. Ah! Anyway, stab me to death. Oh, stab me one time. Anyway, so here's the issue. Muslims, our kids are in these schools. A lot of these schools are trying to push these agendas, push these whatever. Stop posting it like you're proud of it. I mean, I don't get that part. I get that a child will make a mistake. A Muslim child will make a mistake. I get that teachers will not be as sensitive to Tawheed because they don't know Tawheed, okay? They never knew it, don't know it. I understand that, but the pride. One sister was a school teacher. Guess what she did?
Breakdown.
She would make the kids do holiday stuff, cook for the holiday stuff, because she's a teacher. Instead of her saying, "Look, I'm going to back away for my dean's sake. I'm going to back away doing this time and that time and that time, and you can have the teacher's aide run that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have any parts in it, okay?" But she would proudly put it up. Halloween, Christmas, like Easter, and
Why is it always sisters come with these ideas? You know the story with the brother from Houston? I'm not gonna mention his name to protect his identity, right?
Yeah.
He was working in the masjid. Again, this group of sisters came with this idea called Halloween, whatever.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was what? To bring the kids in the masjid and let them watch what? Finding Dory. Kids already watch freaking TV and movies and cartoons at home and mobile devices. What is the point of showing Finding Dory inside the masjid when basically the brother said, okay, instead of that, how about bring the parents and have some physical activities with the kids? Even the whole idea of Halloween is stupid anyway.
Have you ever heard, I mentioned trunk or treat?
Yeah, trunk or treat.
You ever heard of punk or treat?
Yeah, no.
This is when you get big candy and throw it in the punk.
Oh man. Anyway, so
whoever makes it in the punk, they win.
Yeah. So for that, I mean, we're gonna have to really shake our understand it. But Brother Joe had a good question. I don't think it's our Joe. It's another Joe.
Nah,
He should meet our Jawaz here. He's a
Jawaz and Jawad.
yeah, Jawaz and Jawad. make sure you contact Amoo the podcast on the Facebook, send a message, so we can send you the special size for your t-shirt. Hopefully it's not 10x.
No 5X.
Yes, or 10x, right? Wouldn't the Khalif fix this issue of disunity in the Ummah? That's one of the questions that he asked.
Well, he'll fix it where he is. He'll fix it where he is, and then the nearby nations that will not do as well as the Khilafah would be doing.
Yeah.
No matter, remember, it started in Medina as a village state.
Yeah.
So no matter how small, may Allah protect it. You know what I'm saying? Allah will protect the sincere. Okay. And then the nations will annex, and that's how it will grow. So it won't be, oh, we reestablish Khilafah. You know, now the Ummah is unified.
It's gonna take time.
Yeah, and it's not a utopia.
Yes.
So it's not an inter-sanctum. So there'll be some problems and issues and struggles. You know, and it's for us professionals to go and to help. You know, and to
because you're gonna have like a diplomacy, you have a Islamic,
you got all that.
Qawaneen, constitutions, and
So you got all that.
The Ummah, yeah.
So it won't fix it won't fix the disunity or create unity or produce unity overnight.
But it's going to be part of the objective.
Yeah, but within the unity Ittihad is part of that's of our deen. You know, fighting as one structure, living, moving, and feeling even our brothers and sisters. You know how many times, man, I mean deep depression because what was happening in Muslim lands, and I'm hearing about sisters and brothers and children and old people and whoever hurting. I would go into I don't even want to talk about it right now, but then I mean you feel that, you know, cry. I would admit it's certain things I can't say in the cookbook because I'll start crying. You know, and it's just, you know, it hurts, man. It hurts. You know, it hurts so much. So Muslims feeling that for each other, you know, and that's another thing we talk about, man, about loving someone for Allah's sake. It can't be these people. You know why? Because that love comes from the aqidah, the uqad, right? The love comes from that. That love is not just because, oh, this guy says he's Muslim, I love him automatically.
Oh, he says nice things.
Yeah, because the Sahaba didn't love the Munafiq. Even they didn't know him to be Munafiq officially. Some of them were revealed, but some of them were not.
Yeah.
They had the traits, and they didn't love. Nobody loved those traits. Nobody loved those traits. So that's one thing to discuss, inshallah.
Yeah, because we don't have the proper Islamic political, what do you call it, thinking mindset. You know, very simple minded. Yeah. A lot of us, you know, busy with life, busy with life and whatnot. Like, you know.
Ya Allah, astaghfirullah. Oh man, I hate this.
So Jawad said one more thing: homeschooling is the way to go. I think yes, especially in the state. I think homeschooling is the way to go. To be honest, with all the stuff that happened in the public school right now. Like pushing all these.
I think homeschooling by committee. I think that if we got the Muslims to homeschool by committee, you know,
because I know Khalid,
they could plan, you know, trips. They can plan field
because
trips.
the Muslim do actually. I know in San Antonio there's a whole group of you know, like mommy bloggers, whatever, San Antonio mommy bloggers, and they actually do a lot of cool stuff. I've seen them. Some of them, you know, were my client actually. But I know, what's his name, you know, Daniel's wife, Khalid, mashallah, she has a very successful homeschooling program. She's raising her 4 kids, and now she's actually teaching other parents how to do homeschooling. So if anybody interested, check out alasna.org and sign up, because she got all the courses. Alasna. It's actually a verse from the Quran, alasna al-haq, you know. Okay. We're not on the so alasna.org, very affordable. Check it out, inshallah. So. And that's it. And Brother Joe, if you have any suggestion for us for any other topics, let us know.
Inshallah ta'ala, this has been Amoo Yum Yum and Amoo Yusuf for Amoo Yum Yum, the podcast. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Don't forget to share. Assalamu alaikum.